Hello and welcome to National Focus for Monday, September 23, 2024. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, government breaks ground for $116 million Loubier to Bagatelle Road and Bridge Rehabilitation Project. 300 people to be employed under the Southern Road Rehabilitation Project. And government appoints third judge in an effort to reduce case backlog. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Are you ready? Dominica invites the world to celebrate the biggest and most anticipated music festival in the Caribbean 2024, October 25 to 27 at the Windsor Park Stadium in Roseau. 3 nights, 1 stage, non-stop action. Get your ticket now at dominicafestivals.com. Dominica's World Creole Music Festival.
Welcome back. Prime Minister the Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit has singled out the government of the United Kingdom for recognition for its support and funding of the Loubier to Bagatelle Road and the Bridge Rehabilitation Project. The Prime Minister said the results of this partnership will be felt for generations to come. He spoke during government's official groundbreaking ceremony on Friday, marking the start of Phase 1 of the Road and the Bridge Rehabilitation Project.
We also appreciate the support we have received from the UK in advancing our climate resilience goals through the Climate Resilience Execution Agency for Dominica, Creole. Additionally, we are thankful for the $36 million, that is a grant, from the UK government for upgrading 4 major water systems as part of the Water System Strategic Development Plan, a project set to begin later this year.
The Caribbean Development Bank has also been instrumental in the advancement of this project.
Let us not forget the people of the southern communities, the farmers, the bus drivers, who have shown patience and fortitude throughout the process. This road is for you. It was your daily realities, your needs, your hopes that pushed us to this point of the signing of the contracts.
The Prime Minister said this project is about laying the groundwork for continued growth and progress, not only in this part of Dominica, but also across the island. This project is expected to bring about much needed resiliency against extreme climatic conditions.
Our ceremonial location straddles between the 2 constituencies, Grand Bay and Petite Savanne, whose constituents will be the primary beneficiaries of this project, improving significantly the driving experience and the safety of commuters. It's been a long time coming, mainly due to very well-known circumstances and adversities, such as Hurricane Maria, and elaborate technical processes that has to be conducted. You cannot bypass with the Caribbean Development Bank and also officials from the government. Therefore, I wish to take the opportunity to thank the government officials, technicians, regional and international partners who have remained steadfast to ensure that we are finally here today, signifying the launch of this very critical project.
It's a project strongly advocated for by the late Honourable Edward Regist, former parliamentary representative for Grand Bay.
I came here to see what Ed was talking about once in Parliament, explaining about the Mitcham Bridge. So looking for Mitcham Bridge, I don't want to ask anybody to embarrass myself. But it's really not a bridge, It's a kind of, it's not even a crossing, because water passing on top of where you walk. So soon it will be the Mitcham Bridge. So Prime Minister, I want to thank you profusely for continuing your efforts at ensuring that today we can be here to witness the signing of Phase 1 of the Loubier to Bagatelle Road.
The Southern Road Network serves a highly productive segment of the population, and this intervention is critical to their livelihoods.
In agriculture, small business, culture, and sports. And that is why we have persevered with this project despite the setbacks and the challenges we encountered with financing. Phase 1 of the Loubier to Bagatelle Road will comprise of 10 kilometers of road rehabilitation, the construction of 5 bridges, slope stabilization interventions, improved drainage, road widening, and road realignment.
The multi-million-dollar project is jointly funded by the Government of the United Kingdom through the UK Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership and the Government of Dominica. The Government of the United Kingdom pledged an investment of £300 million in vital new infrastructure such as roads, bridges and ports to help drive economic growth and development across the Caribbean. National Authorizing Officer Colleen Roberts says this paved the way for Caribbean UK Infrastructure Partnership Fund with the Caribbean Development Bank. Through this fund, grant funding is provided for infrastructure projects in 8 Caribbean countries which are eligible for overseas assistance along with 1 UK overseas territory. Malcolm Gear is the UK Director for the Caribbean Development Bank. He commended the government of Dominica on its ambition to become the world's first climate-resilient nation and the considerable progress made so far.
This is about the people who live by the road and who will use it, and whose daily lives it will enhance. In the short run, the project will provide new income-earning opportunities for 300 men and women in construction, most of them from this community. When complete, 18,000 residents will benefit from reduced travel times and improved access to climate-resilient, safer roads. Communities in the south of the island will also benefit from improved access to social services and economic opportunities in the capital.
This road and bridge project has been in the pipeline for some time. In fact, the last time the CDB representative was in Dominica was before Hurricane Maria.
This is about what the road is going to do to the 6,000 people living in this area and what it's going to do for the economic activity of the people who are in that fishing village close by, the farmers in this area, getting their products to market, improving the safety of women and children who live and walk, taking their children to school. But it's also about road safety, cutting down on commuting time and the transaction costs of transportation, which we know is heavy in a country like Dominica.
The thrust of the CDB's work here in small states like Dominica is about much more than reducing costs and getting people to where they need to be safely.
But it's also about opening up opportunities, it's about connectivity, it's about what CDB is trying to do in countries like Dominica, working with you, especially with your climate resilience strategy, to make sure that the infrastructure that Dominica is putting in place, not only is it going to withstand the next Maria, God forbid, or the next Beryl, or whoever's coming next, but that the infrastructure that we are investing in, the country as well as the bank, as well as partners like the UK CIF, that the infrastructure will be durable, it will be able to sustain the next type of natural hazard.
The appointment of a third judge is expected to lead to a reduction in a backlog of cases. The appointment of former Supreme Court Justice Davidson Baptiste is part of government's efforts to create the platform for the proper administration of justice and access to justice.
That has been something that has been spoken about for a long period of time. And you may recall that in one of the Prime Minister's press conferences some months ago, he made reference to government's intention to engage in, through, of course, the instrumentality of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, a third judge. And I believe that is important as we seek to ensure that the issue of backlogs at the Supreme Court level, specifically as it refers to civil matters, can be addressed.
Retired former Supreme Court Justice Davidson Baptiste undoubtedly brings a wealth of experience to the new post.
We are pleased this morning. I'm very happy because that has been an ongoing discussion between the government, the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs, and the government at the highest level, also the Prime Minister, engaging the former Chief Justice on the need for a third judge. And we are happy that with the new acting Chief Justice, that we have been able to actually have that reality today and going forward. We're happy that we have our own son of the soil, Mr. Baptiste, Davidson Baptiste, a former appeal judge in the Caribbean region, of course, a proud Dominican, a man of the soil, a great Dominican. And we're happy to have him here. And we're happy, of course, we can ensure that people with issues, with grievances, especially as it relates to civil matters, can have their matters resolved in quick dispatch.
Planning for the third edition of TV Large Creole is well underway as the 2024 independent season gets set to take off. TV Large Creole is a 4-day event which celebrates everything Dominican: food, music, fashion, art, craft, culture and tradition in an ultimate and true Dominican style, while promoting small businesses, entrepreneurship, quality, sustainability and taste to patrons. The event will also serve as a demonstration of a thoughtful showcase of innovation and progression of agri, trade and tourism during Dominica's biggest festive season.
It has become a staple at this time of year. Preceding World Creole Music Festival, people want a daytime event. They want a family-oriented event. They want somewhere where they can go and it's like a one-stop shop. I can get food, I can get the drinks that I want, I can sample all kinds of things that I wouldn't have had on a regular basis.
The event will be held at the Botanical Gardens from Monday, October 21 to Thursday, October 24.
Every day, which is 4 days, the days leading up to World Creole Music Festival, from Monday to Thursday, Monday the 21st to Thursday the 24th. All things being equal, no bad weather, you know, and we knock out the warmies. We start at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 noon, and we go to 7 p.m. in the evening. So that's how many hours of fun. There's hours of interaction. Where will it be held? At the Botanical, the pristine, beautiful Botanical Gardens. And we expect all our patrons, or everyone, to appreciate the gardens, to be a picturesque place where you can take your photos, where you can hang out, where you can camp, where you can put down your blanket or something, and you can just have a great time in a safe environment.
Business Development Officer 2, Mr. Michael Walter, says the last staging of TV Large Creole was a success.
We had 9,100 adult patrons. We had 71 small businesses, inclusive of 25 food vendors. We also had 50 local acts. 50 local acts. We're talking about bands, school children groupings, individual artists, all those, the cultural groups, La Pucabwit, and all that for $10.
The event will incorporate an assortment of daily themes in keeping with the TV Large Creole Tout Bite Dominique campaign, and will provide a platform for local artists to showcase their talent, as well as an opportunity to share and preserve traditions to a very large and diverse audience. The festival will showcase Dominica's most innovative small businesses to continue to create awareness to the locals and for exposure and business opportunities from the returning Dominicans and visitors. Details on the lineup and themes for the event will be given at a later date. You are watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. The Ministry of Agriculture is embarking on a major effort to better position the sector to be able to meet the target of contributing $700 million to the country's GDP by 2030. Permanent Secretary Ryan Ansem says the 5 C's tree crop strategy will cover the cultivation of coconut, citrus, coffee, cocoa and cannabis.
So the 5 C's that we speak about will be part of a massive tree crop rehabilitation and expansion project. And we are concentrating on coconuts, we believe that coconut provides a competitive advantage for us, where we can go fresh nut, what we call the water nut, and dry nut. And so through our technical discussion and the value chain assessment that we have made, we have provided some recommendation where we are saying we want to expand the coconut subsector, where we look at 70% water nut and 30% dry nut.
Mr. Ansem explained why coconut is one of the ministry's priority crops.
The value chain of coconut, there's no waste in coconut. So there is no waste management in coconut. Coconut provides food, shelter, and clothing. And so we can use all the byproducts of coconut. And so we are very happy that we've gotten some support from our organizations such as CADI in supporting the ministry in importing 13,000 Brazilian dwarf nut.
He says distribution of planting material is already being rolled out.
The reason that distribution was delayed, and we want to commend the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, and the coconut has been in quarantine approximately 12 months. And the reason for that, we wanted to ensure and to guarantee that there was no pests and diseases, and the farmers are getting true to type disease-free material. And so we are satisfied that the coconut has gone through a period of quarantine, and the farmers can get disease-free coconut planting material.
Coming up next, the Creole News Highlights with Jenno Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel Creole, nom monsieur Jenno Jacob. Une cérémonie pour réhabiliter chemin et pipon hors de Loubier pour Bagatelle pour place vendredi passé 20 septembre à sous Plainfield, Geneva, Gouambé. Groundbreaking cérémonie la yo cassette pour inaugurer projet a t'es bien entendu. Premier ministre Dominique Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit remercie le gouvernement l'Angleterre pour support yo. Le gouvernement l'Angleterre ba Dominique l'argent pour réhabiliter chemin et pipon hors de Loubier pour Bagatelle. Le gouvernement Dominique veut agriculteur mener $700 millions en économie Dominique pour 2030. Le ministre agriculteur ni plan pour planter autant cacao, citrus, coco, café et puis cannabis, ça c'est marijuana. Le ministre agriculteur a commencé à distribuer plan coco doif en Dominique. Secrétaire Diwan, un ministre agriculteur, Ryan Ansem, parlait et puis nous.
Le ministre agriculteur, nous travaillons, nous tapons en Inde avec CADI, nous menons 13 000 sokaké anglais doivent coco, avec ça même calibre nous glo. Avec quand nous dit pays, c'est un projet ministre agriculteur pour nous avancer tree crop à Dominique. Avec ça même calibre nous avancer coco en pays. Comme vous savez, coco c'est un plan qui n'a un patché avantage là où ça tape toute bagaille hot coco. Vous pouvez taper glo, vous pouvez taper manger, vous pouvez taper toute bagaille hot coco. Nous déjà savons et nous fait ça quoi que anglais on value chain analysis. Coco où ça fait l'huile éveil, où ça boit con glo, où ça fait hard éveil, où ça fait caille éveil, c'est pour chez nous qu'à avancer coco.
Il dit il y a training avec planter.
Nous avons fait session avec ces planteurs, nous avons montré comment pour planter. Et ça, mon aide mon les compliments plant protection et quarantine unit là. Nous menons ces coco avec yo tenu un petit problème. Nous quitter ces coco pour une année car observer ces coco nous ça dit s'implanter plan bon il pas ni maladie il bon pour nous planter ça même calé avancer industrie coco en Dominique nous j'ai fait tout travail c'est extension office yo j'ai fait tout travail là nous calé mettre ces coco en anglais ou ca dit ça zoning. So nous savons où là qui bon en Dominique pour planter yo et ça nous allons faire nous ja chebe training avec ces planteurs comment pour planter ces cocoa.
Ministre Sécurité nationale tient une conférence média aujourd'hui. Conférence là, c'était pour informer le public là à ce développement en affaires l'Office. Ministère pour Sécurité nationale, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, dit nous compte développement l'audience.
Nous avons une situation en l'audience Supreme Court là, où là, on est, ça fait un backlog, un pile case, nous avons temps, un bagage civil matter, bagage qui nous fait bagage contre terre, bagage comme ça, il y a de l'argent, bagage comme ça. Nous, mois septembre, mois ça, nous tapons Justice Davidson Baptist. Et ça Dominicien qui travaille en Caribla, en bagaille appeals. Ça pose un Dominique, il commence à travailler aujourd'hui même. Et nous sommes contents, nous avons 3 juges à Dominique. Ça n'a pas jamais fait à Dominique.
Le gouvernement a mangé maison l'audience après cyclone Maria.
Ça nous fait, nous dépassons presque 4 millions de dollars pour bâtir deux floors à place post office là. Et bien, après, nous avons 3 places. Là, nous avons 3 juges en une fois. Donc, quand nous parlons à présent, en un moment, nous avons 3 juges en Supreme Court là, qui assisent en même temps. Ça, c'est un bagage qui est bien important pour nous, Dominique.
Ça, c'est tout à ce nouvel en créole, changer nous en temps cyclone, continuer à faire préparation aujourd'hui, écouter radio et puis télévision pour information. Non, M. Geno Jacob, au revoir.
Thank you, Geno. And now for today's weather advisory. A high-pressure system is expected to result in a relatively dry atmosphere across the area during today. However, moisture coming from the south, together with light winds and high daytime temperatures, are expected to result in an increase in cloudiness with localized showers and possible isolated thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoon. Residents are advised to stay cool and hydrated due to relatively hot and humid conditions expected. Meanwhile, a tropical wave located east of the Lesser Antilles can be expected to begin affecting the area by late Tuesday into Wednesday. Sea conditions are expected to remain slight to moderate, with wave heights reaching up to 5 feet over the next 24 hours. Today's hurricane tip: trim trees and shrubs to reduce property damage during high winds. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.